Hey guys, Josiah here with Aesthetyx Fitness. In today's video, it's Creatine 101. Alright, so I recently did a video where I talked about creatine in general, kind of the science behind how it works, and dispelled a couple myths and concerns that people have about creatine. You can check that out here. But I realized that I never really went over how to take creatine and the best methods and kinds of creatine that you should be taking. And so in today's video, I just wanted to go over kind of Creatine 101, how you can use it to help improve your physique and performance in the gym. Okay, so before we get started, remember to subscribe to my channel because I have new content coming out every Monday and Friday, and that way you'll get notified every time a new video comes out. And of course, please leave a like down below because it really helps me out. Now with that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, so the first question a lot of people have when it comes to taking creatine is, do I need to load or cycle creatine in any way, shape, or form? Basically, loading creatine is taking 2 to 3 times the recommended daily dose of 5 grams of creatine for a period of about a week or 2 weeks in order to help sort of inundate your system with creatine, because it does take a while to build up in your body, and that way that shortens the amount of time you need to be on creatine before you start really seeing results from it. And the answer is you can. It's not going to hurt you, but it doesn't necessarily increase your benefits from creatine because there's no acute effect of creatine. I'll get into that a little later. Basically, the effects that it has on your body are, once it's built up in there, consistently taking it every single day, that's what's going to, over the long term, help you to see extra progress from having that in your system. So by loading with it, you're basically just getting your system loaded up with it about a week sooner, but if you're going to be taking it for an extended period of time, that week isn't going to make a lot of difference overall. So there's no reason not to, other than the fact that you're kind of just wasting a little bit of money by taking more creatine than you need to be, but it's pretty cheap anyway, so not really a big concern one way or the other. Do whatever feels best for you. And the second part of that is cycling creatine. A lot of people think that you should take like 3 months of creatine, 1 month giving your body rest, 3 months on, 1 month off, or 1 month on, 1 month off, however you want to do it. And that's kind of a myth that's been perpetuated for a long time. A lot of people say that if you stay on creatine, you're going to do liver damage, or you're going to kind of get permanently bloated, increased muscle cramping. Those are all myths that I talked about in my previous video, but a lot of that kind of factors into the reason people think they shouldn't be on creatine for too long of a time because they're damaging their body and they just want to get the gains and then quick get off it before it hurts them. It's not a drug, it's not a steroid, there aren't any real negative side effects from it as long as you are a healthy adult who doesn't have like already renal insufficiencies and kidney damage, because in those cases, if you already have a weakened renal system, you might want to check with your doctor before taking creatine, just because it does have to be filtered through your kidneys as it gets into your blood. But for the average person, there's no reason to ever really stop taking creatine. It's not something that's going to have adverse effects. There are people who have been on creatine since the early 1980s, and they've done studies on them for over almost 40 years, and those people have no ill renal side effects from it. So there's no reason not to just stay on creatine, unless of course it's just financially prohibitive and you want to take it for the time you have that 600 gram bottle and then go off it for a while until you can afford another one. In that case, no problem doing that, but staying on it will just help you to continue seeing the extra muscle and strength gains that you get from being on creatine. Another question people often have when they start taking creatine is, when should I take it? Should I take it right before my workout, right after, every morning, every night? And guess what? The answer is going to be similar to some other ones you've heard. It doesn't matter, because creatine doesn't have an acute effect. So whenever you want to take it during the day, as long as you're taking it every day so that it stays built up in your body, it's totally fine. So you're not going to like see a sudden performance boost by eating a spoonful of creatine or mixing it into a glass of water and drinking it right before you do your workout. A lot of people think that it acts as like a pre-workout stimulant. It doesn't. Like I said, the only thing it does is it helps your body replenish ATP and helps funnel nutrients into your muscles, and those are effects that it has just by virtue of being inundated in your system and in your body. So taking it before or after your workout doesn't really make that big of a difference, or any difference at all. And the last question a lot of people have when it comes to creatine is, what kind of creatine should I take? Because there are a lot of kinds of creatine out there. There's creatine monohydrate, creatine ethyl ester, buffered creatine, and just on and on and on. There's a lot of marketing involving different kinds of creatine, and this is supposed to be better for this reason or this reason. In general, the studies have shown that there's not really any good advantage from any alternative forms of creatine, or that you need to take a specific kind. The one that they've done the most kinds of studies on that is just the classic proven effective version of creatine is standard creatine monohydrate. And conveniently, it's also the cheapest because it's very, very, very mass produced. You can get it from almost anywhere, and it's not expensive at all. So it's both the most effective, has the most scientific literature on it, and it's also the most affordable. Therefore, that's what I personally recommend. No need to get too fancy with it because there's not really any conclusive scientific studies that show that other kinds are more beneficial to take. And in fact, some studies show that alternate forms of creatine are actually less effective and less well absorbed by our body than standard creatine monohydrate. And one little word of advice: if you do start taking creatine monohydrate and you're desperately trying to stir it into your glass hoping it's going to dissolve and so that you can just drink it, it's not going to, because creatine doesn't dissolve in water. It just kind of gets suspended and then you chug it down. So don't spend half an hour trying to get your creatine monohydrate to dissolve in water, because it's not really going to happen and you're just going to waste a lot of time and probably freak yourself out in the process. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching as always. Remember to leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video and comment with your thoughts on creatine. Have you taken it? Have you seen any effects from it? What do you think? And of course, subscribe to my channel because I have new videos coming out every Monday and Friday to help you train smarter and look better.